Go straight into Slerf. Forget about Bitcoin. Who cares? Let's look at Slerf. Well, breaking long-term trend. Yep, absolutely breaking long-term trend. Pretty amazing, Slerf. So it could either go up or down and up, and it just went up. So that was pretty neat. As soon as we put in the higher high, little back test on the trend line, and it pushed up even further. So I'd say that was pretty good. That was fun. Let me just have a look at all this. Let me just delete all this stuff. It's all irrelevant now. What else did I have from yesterday? You know, I deleted a lot of stuff. I usually keep it. You miss your TP on your long by 002. Was your TP somewhere here? Forever bottom. Haven't even launched NFT yet. I hedged here yesterday when I saw it. So I'll give you a trick, Gary. If you ever see the price, if you have an area of interest, like a really important area, so obviously for me, this was an important area, which I mentioned yesterday. And the reason why it's an important area is because you have a untapped daily level, a level that hasn't been traded through, with a higher time frame fib level. So you have quite a strong area of confluence. Whenever you, and also the other thing we had was a swing failure. So I didn't mark it off, but you don't need to mark it off to see. They're pretty easy to see. You had a swing failure there as well. So if you ever see the price go through a level just like that, as though it doesn't exist, that's a sign to take profit or to hedge. Yeah, because you're never going to get that. It's very rare to get that, to get a situation where the price would just keep on going and just ignore it. Yeah, I've never really seen it happen, to be honest with you. It probably can happen because everything can happen in crypto. As soon as I saw that, I looked at the charts. I saw that there was no test, there was no resistance, there was nothing. And then I saw a swing failure too, and I just hedged. I didn't even think about it. I just hedged. Bam. And I didn't even set a stop limit or stop loss at the peak, simply because I knew that the price wasn't just going to ignore this level. And naturally what it usually does is ignores it in the first instance. And so a lot of people who are thinking to themselves, oh my God, this is it. This is the moon. We're going to the moon, the moon, moon, moon. But actually that's your indicator, you know, that's your signal. When you get those thoughts, then you have to hedge. When you start getting those kind of delusions. But you put your stop limit, take profit at 0.02 away. So looking at the high here, the high was 3282. So yours was at 0.33 rather. So here. Yeah, okay. So you're trying to get the little SR flip going on the bottom of these candles. Yeah, it's a bit wider. I think you could have just put it over this wick. Like when you're thinking about this next time, I think it would have made sense to just take the liquidity from above this wick in the first instance, just in case you get a swing failure. So you always have to think of the possibility of a swing failure. And if you really want to capture your profit, like if you want to, like you don't, without hesitation, then you'll even front run the pivot and put it even lower, not higher. So it's a combination of where do you put it, and then the other thing you can do is you could put a little bit here. You can put, you know, you don't have to just put it all there. You can have, oh, okay, I'll have it. I'm going to put a little bit. Let's take some there, take some there. You know, going to scale out a little bit. Or hedge. You don't actually have to take, you don't actually have to stop, take profit, you can just hedge. Yeah, but I mean, let's have a look at the charts. You probably saw this on my Twitter yesterday. Now that we're talking about Slerf, I had a pretty busy day on Twitter yesterday. I'll show you why. It's pretty exciting, actually. I don't know. I posted my Slerf video, which is basically the Slerf section, which I've cut out into a small video. Yeah, so it's basically the live stream. And look, Slerf Soul. He writes, "Follow this man right now." Look at that. How cool is that? And naturally, I got a lot of people followed me. Amazing, huh? So I got a lot of from, I guess they're all from Slerf. Look, the Slerf guys. Look at that. Look at all these followers. That's so cool. So if you're watching this, Slerf Soul, appreciate that. I'll continue doing Slerf. Oh, thank you, Baze. Appreciate it. Well, look, I'm only going to be honest. I'm not going to lie, or try not to anyway. If I see something bearish, I'm going to say it. If I see something bullish, I'm just going to say it. Okay. And I'm not always right. You know, everyone always, it's all subjective, most part. And we're just going to try our best to analyze the charts and see if we can find good areas of resistance and support, and maybe that's going to help us trade a little bit better. Oh, you got booted for fudding the price. Oh shit, sorry man, that sucks. All right, let's just dive in. Okay, so first things first, let me just quickly update the volume profile. Let me just hide all of this stuff. You know what I'm going to do today? I'm just going to also, I don't always do it, but I'm just going to have a look at HTX and Radium as well, just to see if there's any divergence in the data. I just want to see if I can fully analyze this and see if I can find anything else interesting. Volume profile first. I'm using the Bybit derivatives perpetual contract. Volume levels, no real changes to the volume profile on Bybit. While I'm here, I'm just going to pull this up. Let me just pull my HTX up. Let me just quickly have a look at the profile on HTX as well. I just want to see if there's any changes on that either. This is the HTX chart. $2225. Is it the same? Roughly. It's roughly the same. Point of control here is 419. That's about the same. And 604. 419 is about the same. 614. The value area high on the HTX is slightly higher. Pretty much the same. So for all intents and purposes, you could argue that it's the same. I wouldn't really stress so much over those minuscule differences. I think you should be careful with HTX. I'll tell you why in a second. Okay, let me just do a volume profile on Radium as well. Just, I know Radium's slightly different. You know, looking at this chart on Radium, it's really like, this looks really healthy. I don't know, people may not see it. You have your launch and you have this extended consolidation period. You've not been able to get down to the launch price, which is 2 cents. Sorry, not 2 cents. Yeah, 2 cents. And effectively what you've got is this prolonged consolidation period. The price is coiling up. What you can see here it's a short time frame version of what I'm seeing on the higher time frame version of the other token that I always analyze, which is TRVL. This is a kind of a compressed version of that, and effectively what you have is a spring. Yeah, the price comes up and it kind of springs, and it's got this kind of coiling up effect. Yeah, you see it a lot in crypto, and eventually that leads to an explosive move eventually. Okay, just an observation. Okay, where's this fixed range profile? Let me just have a look at the volume on Radium. Okay, so this is interesting. So you see on Radium, the volume, the value area low is at about 40 cents, just over 40 cents. The point of control is very high at about 81.5. And the value area high is high up as well, 993. This basically, what this is telling me is that there's a lot of volume at higher prices on Radium, probably because a lot of people were buying, and it's going to actually be quite difficult to easily pass through these levels without clearing the volume, the liquidity that's been trapped in the price coming down. So naturally someone has bought at 80 cents or 81, whatever, and ever since they bought somewhere here in at the end of March, they've been in negative equity. Yeah, you see that they've always been underwater, and unless they've sold and bought back lower or improved their position or did something about their trade, they're going to be trapped. And I talk about this a lot. Naturally speaking, when the price returns to higher prices, this liquidity has to be untrapped. And to untrap liquidity, not only do you have to trade through the price, you need the volume to untrap it, because you're naturally going to get sell pressure. Yeah, so you need more volume to overcome the sell pressure at these higher prices. So for the first area of interest on Radium is the value area low, and that, not surprisingly, coincides with our point of control on Bybit and HTX. And then the next level of interest is 81.6. So let me just have a look at that. So we're looking at about 40.5, 40.6 and 81.6. So let me just add those two levels. Which one am I using now? E. Right. So that's slightly lower than our actual range point of control, and that is the Radium value area low. And then we've also got the Radium point of control, and that is 80.6. It's quite high up. Okay. Right. I'm going to be back in 2 minutes. Apologies. Take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Sometimes nature calls. And you just have to do it. Okay, let's continue. So I think you can't ignore it. Yeah, you can't ignore those levels, and naturally you can clearly see that the radian value area low and our buy bit or range point of control are in a very similar location. It's something to bear in mind. Now we've broken out from this trend line, which is what I wanted to see. I'm going to delete these other ones now because they're not relevant. This one and this one. And so we have our outer trend line now that's been broken. That's a very important line because that's from the launch. And we can see that it's been tested a few times, and we've just had this kind of breakout moment after we put in a higher low here, literally by 100th of a cent. The price was not able to make a lower low. I always find higher lows really bullish, even though most of the time I want the liquidity to be cleared. In this circumstance, I didn't want that to happen. I wanted to see a higher low. It means the price has just basically failed to make a lower low. This is too much demand at that level to prevent the price from going down any further. And naturally, the price is always searching for liquidity. And there was enough liquidity there to hold a higher price. Basically, that's what this means. It means there was enough liquidity to hold a higher price. Sometimes you'll see swing failures, and while that also indicates a reversal, often with swing failures you'll also go down to test it again. You'll get a second test or a third test. And while with this kind of situation, we may in the future go down. Even though I've said the bottom is in, the reality is no one knows. Yeah, crypto is unbelievably volatile. I think it could be. I think the circumstances for a bottom are good. We've cleared up the volume gaps in this price expansion. We've come down to clear up this low, and we've come back to test this daily level. So we've done what was needed to sort the balance or the imbalance here. But naturally, every time you do that, you also create new problems for the price. And so naturally, when you look at the price now, again, we've created volume gaps. You have to bear that in mind. Yeah, you can't just ignore it just because we've sprung out of this low and it looks extremely bullish right now. Just be mindful that we've created gaps. There's gaps there. There's a gap there. We've created gaps. There's probably, I can't see, I'd have to zoom in, but I can clearly see here that there's two obvious gaps. Yeah, the price generally speaking doesn't like gaps in the market, and so I'm not saying it's going to happen because I don't know. Okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if the price suddenly in the future decides to come down and clear those gaps, to fill those gaps. Yeah, and you just always have to have that in your mind. Yeah, that just because something is looking bullish, yeah, sometimes people maybe don't take profit, or they think this is it, this is the moment, this is what we've been waiting for, no more down, always up. But the balance in the market must be always maintained, and if sometimes you find imbalances where there's more sellers than buyers and there's gaps, the price will go head right back down to fill those gaps. Now, that might not happen today or tomorrow, but you never know. The price can do strange things at strange times, and you have to be prepared for that. There's a lot of gaps to the upside too. So I mean, that's why I'm quite bullish on this in the medium term, because I think all those gaps have to be filled too. Yeah, anyone who's in some kind of leverage short position from the absolute highs, they're going to be punished too eventually. But at the moment, obviously, I'm contemplating where we are now. I'm not really, my attention isn't on up there. Okay, we've broken out this trend line and we've had a pretty good impulsive move. I'm not crazy about the volume yet. Yeah, that's something else to bear in mind. We had a really good volume on this break, so I'm okay with that. So, but with the continuation, it's steady, but it's not like here. Yeah, it's not like this volume here. So we know that the price, this token has the potential to put in high amounts of volume, and I want to see how this volume continues. I want to see how this profile continues. Yeah, and obviously it's not as much as here, so I want to see like what happens next. And some observations. That's all I'm doing. I'm just observing some things. We've cleared this high volume node, so let me just mark that off as well. And so naturally, these high volume nodes can always act as support when the price comes back to test them. So it's about there. Okay. So let me just clear this up. We have our volume levels, we have our trend lines. Where's our higher time frame levels? Let me have a look at those. So we've come into this daily level. We've finding resistance there. I did think we would probably quickly go through this one. It wouldn't offer much support, and as you resistance, and you see it has not offered much resistance. And I did think that that one would probably offer a little bit of resistance, and it has. And the reason why is because of this confluence with this higher time frame fib level, which is the 236. Now the way I've drawn that is from the buy bit pivot high to the buy bit low. I'm not going and trying to look at the different exchanges right now based on fibs, even though I could. Actually, you could also go to Radium and you can draw some kind of fib retracement from the 2-cent launch all the way to the Radium high. That will also give you some levels, but I'm not crazy about those. I'm not crazy about this chart, and I think the reason why is because a large portion of the volume now is on Bybit, and so volume really matters when you're charting. You need to go to the chart with the most volume because that's the most balanced data available in terms of the volume with respect to the way the price moves. So we're coming into resistance now. We've taken the liquidity from that pivot. We've changed market structure, or we've confirmed a change from bearish. No, have we? Not yet. I don't think so. Let's have a look. So we have, let's just have a look at the market structure quickly. So I'm looking at the 4-hour time frame. So this is clearly a lower low. Let's just go all the way up here, actually. Be easier to start from the top. High, low. High, high. High, low. High, high. Low, low. Lower, high. Lower, low. Lower, high. Low, low. Lower, high. Lower, low. Higher, high. Lower, low. So actually we still have to go up there on the 4-hour time frame. So look at this. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, high high, high low, higher high, low low, low high, low low, low high, low low, low high, low low, lower high. If that was a higher high. Oh wait, maybe there was a change here. Hold on. That was actually the higher high there. That's the difference. That was the higher high. So this became the higher low. Higher high. Higher low. Higher high. High low, high high, lower low, lower high, lower low. That's better. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, high high. Okay, perfect. So that is our higher high. Sorry, I had to go through all of that because you have to just, it's trickier. You could all, if you make one mistake, then you're not analyzing it correctly. So you just have to go through it and just make sure it's all correct. Effectively, when it comes to market structure, I'm just going from the high to the low, from the high to the low, from the high to the low. If it's not making a high or a new high or a new low, I'm ignoring it. Okay, because you got intermediary highs and lows, they're irrelevant. You want the new high or the new low, and you take it from the new high to the new low, or to the new low to the new high. So actually this was the high to beat. We've actually taken out the high, so this, and actually this was the high to beat, this one here. So that was on higher high. We've made a higher high now. We haven't put in a higher low to make another higher high, and this is on the 4-hour time frame. So technically the bulls have done what was needed to be done in the first instance, which is make a higher high. Yeah, after putting a lower low, a lower high to a lower low, the bulls had to put in a higher high, and effectively they had to take out that high, which happened. Okay, this is now our new high, higher high. And what the bulls have to do is continue this idea, continue the idea of bullish market structure. We're not confirmed bullish yet, simply because we've put in a lower low here. Even though the bulls have been able to take out this high, they still now need to put in a higher low and take out the original high. Okay, so somewhere now what we're expecting for continuation is a higher low, and then we want the price to go up and take out the pivot high that's been put in. That will be a bullish market structure confirmation. It will be a change from bearish to bullish. Okay, and this is on the 4-hour time frame. I think that's going to be really important, because then you can begin some sort of trend, uptrend on the 4-hour time frame, which is what we want. Okay, so we are seeing something happen here. Is the low in or not? I think it could be, yeah, for many reasons. Why? I think we came to a really important area and we held a higher low, and now we've broken out of this trend line. When I was doing the stream yesterday, we hadn't broken the trend line yet. Okay, and obviously I'm pleased to see that the trend line has broken. So what I was hoping for or preempting happened, and that's why I was long. Okay, because I could see that that's what was trying to happen. Now what I want to see for continuation is a higher low and a higher high on the 4-hour time frame. That's really what I want to see next. Now, bulls want to see that. They have to see that. If you want to see continuation, we need to see a higher low and a higher high. And what the bears want to do is take the price all the way down and make a lower low. That's what the bears want to do. Yeah, that would continue the bearish trend, because even though we've put in a higher high here, if now the bears are able to go down and put in a lower low here, take out this pivot, this higher high which the bulls have made will becomes the lower high. It changes. Yeah, so right now it's a higher high, but if the bears are able to take the price all the way down to below this pivot at about 24 cents or so, 24 and a half, whatever, then this bearish trend continues. Okay, there's a lot of space for the bulls to defend the price now. Okay, there's a lot of space. This is actually quite bullish to have so much space. It's quite hard for the bears to take the price down to make a new low. So this is actually quite bullish because it's very difficult for the bears to do that. But the higher the bulls are able to put in a higher low, the easier it will be to put in a higher high. Yeah, so what I'm saying is that if the price now was to pull back down to here, which a lot of people might want because they're like, oh my god, I missed out, I need lower prices, it actually makes it difficult to take the price all the way back up and take out that high. Yeah, so while on one hand people love that kind of price action because it gives them a good entry, it does actually make it difficult for the price action to change and be confirmed bullish. Yeah, the higher you can put in the higher low, the easier the change, because if now we pull back onto this previous pivot high, which would be a really good place for the price to find support, and then we go, it means we don't have to do much. The bulls don't have to do much. They only have to take the price up from wherever it finds support, say somewhere at about 30 cents or so to 33 cents. Yeah, it's not that difficult to put in a higher low here and to go and take out that higher high to confirm bullish market structure change. And then if that continues, then we're in bullish market structure. We have higher lows, then you'll be higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. That's what you'll be doing. You'll be trading that. It's easy to see. And the problem with putting in a higher low, higher up, again, it's the same problem. It just means that the bears have an easier target. Yeah. So hypothetically, if the bulls were able to, if the price did go down, and the bulls were able to defend that and to take the price all the way up, that's your higher, that becomes your higher low. So it makes it just as it's difficult now for the bears to take the price down to put in a lower low. The lower the higher low, the harder it is for the bears to attack if and when the bulls are able to put in a higher high. So there's a little bit of dynamic, there's a little bit of psychology going on here between what the bears have to do and whether that's attainable in the context of how far the price has moved and the way the price has to come back down to put in that higher low to find support, and then what it has to do next, which is go and make a higher high. So this is quite dynamic, and it's always good to keep a track of the market structure. Every time frame has its own market structure, and so when I'm analyzing, I'm always starting with the lowest time frames. Well, I'll have a look at the 1 minute sometimes because David is spamming me to look at the 1 minute. I'm usually just focused on the 5 minute to begin with, and if I see a change in a 5 minute, that's where I begin to decide how I'm gonna take trade. Yeah, like so right now when looking at the 5 minute, Let's have a look. So it's exactly the same idea. You're putting in lower lows, lower highs. You're putting in lower lows. See, lower high, lower low. So lower high, all the way down to here, lower low. All of this was nothing. The price still had to go up to that pivot, which it did. So you see, it made it quite difficult for the bulls to put in a higher high. They did. Well done. They put in a higher high here. That's what was needed. And then they put in a lower low, a higher low. Now, the bears had to take the price all the way down to this pivot here. They weren't able to do that. So somewhere in this retracement, the bulls were able to put in a higher low. And then they were able to take out the original high there to put in a higher high. That was market structure change to bullish on the 5-minute time frame. And after that happened, guess what happened? Just it continued. High lows, high highs, high lows, high highs. So you just take it from the high to the low. Yeah. So looking at this now, from the high to the low, higher high. There's the low, higher, higher low. Next high, high, high. Next low, higher low. Next high, higher, high. You see here, this low didn't actually make a low low. You see that wick? It's amazing, huh? But it didn't actually make a low low. It made a higher low. So that's your higher low. Next high high is there. Next higher low. So as long as it doesn't come underneath this higher low, then it's a higher low. So when's the next higher low? There. Where's the next high? You see it took out the high. Yeah. Came down to make a low. Make a higher high here. Put in a low there. Next high, all the way up to there. So, okay, so we're still in bullish market structure territory right now. Okay, this is the low to beat, the last higher low. And this is the 5-minute time frame. This is where the change will begin if things start to get bearish. Okay, so that's it's a key level. Okay, get rid of the brush strokes now because they're not relevant. And so naturally, what I'm thinking is the first thing you're looking for is a 5-minute market structure change. If you want to. If the price is now going to turn to bearish, right? That's your higher high. Up there. If the bulls take out that high, market structure continues. If the bears, what the bears need to do is they need to go down and put in a lower low here, take out that low. That will be a lower low in a 5-minute time frame. Then the bears will have to put in a lower high and make a new low to confirm a change. I think that's your first signal that the price is about to move down. Okay, until that happens, there's no reason to be bearish on Slerf or crypto, to be honest with you, because I really believe that Slerf at the moment is leading. Okay, and really crypto is all about, or the markets even, is all about sentiment. When people are bullish on Slerf, they're bullish on the markets, the crypto, because of what Slerf is. It's a meme coin. Yeah, it's like the final frontier of gambling, so to speak. You know, speculation of being completely irresponsible with one's own wealth. You know, pouring one's value into a meme coin. So when you see that this is bullish, the whole market's bullish, and then when you start seeing a change here, then that it's a pre-warning for the rest of the market, because naturally this is the first thing that people are going to start selling if they start feeling fear, if they start feeling doubt, if they start feeling uncertainty, if they start feeling that the market is no longer going up, if it's starting to turn. Yeah. And you'll see it in a 5-minute market structure change. That's what needs to happen first. So if anyone's looking for a signal of when is a good time scale out or to hedge or to cover or do something about their position. If they're in heavy profits, maybe take profit, or if they're in a really good position, they might want to just hedge so they don't have to take profits but they don't lose their fiat value. Then you just wait for market structure change. Yeah, and I think the 5 minute is a really good way to do that. Usually what I've seen with the price action is that Slerf is leading Bitcoin by about 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Okay. So if I see 30 minutes, if I see market structure change here on Slerf, guess what I'm doing? I'm shorting Bitcoin, literally. And then if I suddenly see the bulls like some kind of bear trap, you get this kind of bearish confirmation, and you suddenly see a higher high, higher low, and then a confirmation of, if it goes from bearish to bullish immediately, you have to change. You don't just be stuck in that idea. If you see suddenly it go bearish and then go straight back to bullish, you know, so you have to be on top of this. You can't just ignore it and go, oh look, it's bearish, I'm just going to think it's now bearish for the next few days or hours or whatever. You have to keep an eye on the market structure, and the 5 minute is a good place to see what's happening in real time. Okay, so right now I'm not contemplating this. I think the market structure is bullish. We have a real a defined low, and even if we go down and let's say swing failure that low, that's still not confirmation of a change. That would be a lower low. Yeah, but then the bears still have to go and put in a lower high and a lower low. What could happen, and does often happen, is that the price will go down in search of liquidity to put in a lower low here, and stop out a lot of people, because naturally that's where their people's invalidations are going to be, because they don't want to see a lower low, they want to see a higher low, and then the price just goes up on its merry way and puts in a higher high, and you still have bullish market structure. What happens in that circumstance is that your higher low moves from here to wherever this lower low was put in. That becomes your higher low, because you've gone from a low straight to a high. Okay, and then the higher high changes to wherever the high is put in. So you need a confirmation of change. You can't just go with the first lower low. Okay, you need to see after the bears put in a lower low, if they put in a lower low, you need to see a lower high, and you need to see that same low taken out with a lower low. You need to see that. That will be a confirmation, and that will be a signal. Okay, until we see that, there's no reason to be bearish. Just be bullish. Yeah, I'm not bearish. I've hedged only because I saw the price go over, as I was explaining to Gary. When you see the price without any reason shoot above key levels, without any acknowledgement, without any resistance, just no reaction, then that's a good signal to to hedge or to short. Yeah, because it's so minuscule, it's so rare for that to happen and be genuine that you wouldn't bet on it. So when I saw that, I saw, wait a minute, what's going on? These are really strong levels. Why is the price not resisting? What happened was someone was squeezed, I guess, or someone who was in a hefty short was really annoyed or something and decided they got frustrated because the price had come up and it wasn't going back down, and they probably just closed the market. And then what happened that followed is that the people took their profits. Yeah, and so all of this movement up and down is probably someone closing their short, and then a lot of people who maybe were positioned in lower down here finally were able to take profits, and it was a good place to take profit. It was a good place to take some profits, because you're into some technical resistance on a higher time frame. Yeah, and what we want to see now is, obviously we want to see bullish market structure to remain. We don't want to lose that, and I'm not saying we can't lose it. We can always lose it. Anything can happen in crypto. Price can go up, price can go down. You can lose levels, you can reclaim levels. Yeah, so just because we're in bullish market structure and the price is looking quite buoyant doesn't mean the price can't find resistance and start going down. Yeah. Now, you almost expect that to happen, because on the 4-hour time frame, we've put in a higher high, but now we want to put in a higher low. Yeah. So just bear that in mind, that like we almost have to get a little bit bearish before we go back to bullish. And the question for a lot of people is, how is that going to look like? And how am I going to react to that kind of bearish price action? Because obviously if you're sitting in quite hefty profits, I think a lot of people potentially are, because even after Slerf kind of commented on my tweet, the price continued going up. Yeah. So I think anyone who just looked at my video, even if they didn't even watch my video and just reacted on the title, would have probably made money. Yeah, like I think a lot of people possibly, if they didn't have, probably made a lot of money just by hearing me say what I said yesterday. Of course, everyone has their own analysis. No one's like blindly following me, and that's good. Like I don't want them to. I want people to just use this information to come up to their own conclusions. But maybe that helped. I think what I am expecting a higher low on the 4-hour time frame. And I think what I want to see now is, now that we've broken this trend line, where does the price find support? Because we're clearly into resistance now. Yeah. All right. This is what I'm looking for right now. All right. So I've gone on for a little bit. I hope that helped. I hope that some of my explanations were helpful. All right, let me just kind of analyze this a little bit after I did that little explanation. So what I'm going to do, firstly, I'm just going to look at the lower volume just from when we come into this, underneath this point of control. You see that? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tell you what's going on right now. So what I'm contemplating right now are ranges to see where we are in situation, in the position of the market. There's effectively two ranges in play right now. There's a higher range and a lower range. And also there's price action underneath the point of control and above the point of control, right? And let me just do it from this one where we're in the lower part of the range. Let me see what that's like. Yeah. So what's happening right now? So let me just explain to you the range. So I've done this fib pull from the pivot high to the pivot low. The range is split into two, and anything underneath the 50% mark, so the 0.5 on the fib retracement, is the lower range. You can clearly see that there's an SR flip at the 50% mark here. See that? That's support, that's resistance. That's been tested, so we know that we're in the lower part of the range right now. Okay, this is the lower part of the range. And this is the higher part of the range. It's quite nicely balanced, except that most of the price action has been in the lower part of the range. It was in the higher part for a short period of time, and now we're in a lower part. Okay, so when you're doing a volume range pull, and again I'm using Bybit, I'm doing it, you can break these volume ranges into two now. You can break it into the higher volume range and the lower volume range. Okay, so from the higher one, it's still there, that's the higher range, and the volume range for the lower range is from this candle that brings us to the lower range to the current price action, and that's there. You see that? And what that allows us to see now is that we're actually coming to another level of resistance, which I wasn't aware of, which I can see now, which is the value area low of the lower range. So we're still not, even though we're in the value area of the overall range, which I've marked here with these red lines. This, I've called it buy bit value area low. We're still underneath the value area of the lower range, the actual lower range. You see that? Okay, and we've actually come nicely into it. So we are into some really, dare I say it, strong resistance right now. And we need to flip that into support. I honestly think that if we're able to flip this area of resistance into support, then we'll probably head up to the point of control really quickly. Probably. I think we'll probably go up really fast if we're able to do that. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because I can see here that we haven't created much resistance on the way down here. That'll be a quick move to there. Then you have a daily level here, but then you'll probably squeeze all the way up to the top anyway. Yeah. So I do foresee that if we do manage to get back into the value area low of this lower range, slower range, we'll probably shift right up to 41 cents quite quickly. We just have to get into there and back test it. I don't know if that's going to happen just now, just simply because we're finding resistance. You can see that the price is finding resistance. You can see it's not going to go in easily, and we possibly have to come back down to find support to go up. Okay, and so I've got this high volume node here marked out. It's also kind of corresponding with this pivot, so possibly we have to come back, find support somewhere here to go up for another attack of that level. That's kind of what I'm envisioning right now. I don't know how long that's going to take. I can't tell. Let me just do a fib pull. So if we were to come back to that high volume node, that will bring us to the 382. And this is the question that changes market structure to bearish on the 5-minute time frame. Let's see how, you have to see how the price will behave. Are you going to see a sell-off? That's the danger. You know, the danger is that you've got a lot of people who have got longs open here. Are they going to close their longs? Because the price can overreact. Because you're basically coming all the way down to here. The other thing I'm going to do is, let me just do a volume pull on this price action from this low to the current price action. Yeah, you see how the volume area, the value area high is also at the same place. It's probably a good place for the price to find support. There. Traders will be looking for the golden pocket. We'll put our trend line back in. So traders will be looking for the golden pocket. But personally, I think this is going to be the most bullish to find support as higher up as possible. If we were to get a really flat correction now, you'd basically doing this. Maybe testing the high once to go up, maybe with a descending, or depending on how bullish it is, you continue the idea of higher lows and you end up with a flat top triangle. There's different ways that the price can form to go up, or we can go down to go up. Yeah, so effectively what I'm saying is to go up, something has to happen. You can't just go, you know, we have to create something, some kind of way of squeezing up. But we are into key resistance right now. We're into really strong resistance. And yeah, I'm not let me just do some other things quickly. Hold on. I'm going to go back to regular. Have a look at these speed fans. Where are they? Can't find them. Where's my fans? EW. I kind of lost them. Out of trend lines, I've got that. Bottom long trade. There it is. Sorry, this is a little bit messy now. Let's see where we are if we're into. Okay, yeah. So this is also quite important as well. See, look. So we're into a really strong resistance level as well, because we're into this. Let me hide the rest so you can see the one that I'm really focused on. So what I've got is a speed fan using the regular chart, not log, because it only works on regular, from the buy bit pivot high all the way to this all-time low that was putting here on buy bit. And you can see here that the 618, we've come into it for the first time. Okay, so we're finding resistance on that. You can clearly see that. See that? And that has to be flipped too. And just because we're bullish, it doesn't mean this is going to break. Just bear that in mind, yeah? So I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just telling you that we are into resistance. We also are into local support, but we kind of, it looks like we're trying to lose it now, which is this 236. You see that? And obviously we've got our key level, which is our higher low, which I've marked off there. And you've got your higher key level, which is a higher high. So we're into resistance right now. Just we're into many levels of resistance. And what the price needs to do now is to come somehow find support to go back up. I think traders will want as low as possible. But again, the same issue arises. You don't really want to go that low for continuation. You want to kind of stay up as much as possible. So let me just, so now that we're in, I know that we're into that 618. Go back to the log. I've got a couple of GAN fans as well. So you see we're above this GAN fan too. So we're above support. We're also into resistance. Which one is this GAN fan? Again, from the same pivot. Again, to the same pivot low. I haven't seen it reacted in any meaningful way in the past. So it's hard to gauge whether this is going to offer support, okay, or not. But I can see here that after we broke the 2-1, we found resistance, then we broke it, and actually we came back to back test it before we continued going up. So we've crossed it without really, without it offering much resistance. Could we come back in here? What day is it today? Thursday. Could we fall back by 9 PM today to find support here? Somewhere there. That would be the value area high of this up move. It'll be the 382 retracement of this move. It'll be a back test of this GAN fan, which is the 3-1. it will be an SR flip of this pivot here. And it's a high volume node. See, got a high volume node there. We've got quite a lot of things going on here. If we can get to this level at about 9 p.m. today, that's at about 0.2971. So we're looking at a full cent lower than where we are right now. Just bear that in mind. And again, it's all about supply and demand. It's all about the price finding support with buyers and liquidity. You'd want to see a reaction, and then you want to see a buy up to take the price right back up and potentially forming a much kind of extended range here. Yeah, looking at the move from here to here, look, this is, you could almost argue that this is like your little wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Are we forming a little 4 here for the last wave in this first wave of 5? I don't know. And how deep is this going to go? Well, if we are forming some kind of mini wave 1, which is a 5-wave impulse, then technically, let me have a look. 1 ABC. This is some kind of 3 all the way up to the top. Some kind of weird 3. Technically, you wouldn't want the price to come underneath the top of this one, technically. So technically, I'm not really interested in the price coming all the way down to the golden pocket. And obviously, if the price came to the top of this one, then there's pretty much, I don't think there's much support there anyway. I'm thinking that the support has to be here. Okay. So let's see what happens. This is kind of where you want the price to find support at the very least for continuation. And then for continuation, again, you're losing this key level. So you're contemplating a 5-minute market structure change. So that's also something to bear in mind. I'm not crazy about that idea. Personally, I would be more fond of us just having some kind of flat correction here to go up. It would just make life a lot easier. That's possibly going to happen because you can see here this little mini correction was like a little ABC. It was like a zigzag, a really mini zigzag. Maybe we are going to have a little flat correction here, hold that key level for continuation. We just have to see what happens. Okay, I do think this is a really good area to buy but again, it's the same thing. Do you lose the key level and just sell off for this without changing market structure, for the buyers to step in to push the price right back up to take us to higher prices? Yeah, does that happen? Or do we see a sell-off here to go back up to continue this change, and then we're just looking for a little bit of a deeper correction to see what happens? Honestly, I'm not fond of us losing this pivot. I'm not fond of that idea at all. Okay, so just let's see what happens. Any questions on that so far? I'm going to have a look at HTX to explain why I don't think it's a good chart to use. Any questions? Yeah, this is I'm really thinking this is my area of support. But we have to see. We might not lose this key level. 5-minute market structure might just remain bullish, and we just continue. But then what you're looking for is some kind of flag, some kind of flat top triangle, some kind of consolidation here without losing 5-minute time frame bullish market structure. So at the moment you're forming kind of this higher low here. You've got a little bit of a higher high here. It's a little triangle. Really, you want to break that to attack the highs one more time without taking out the high. Yeah, we don't want to take out the high just yet. The problem with taking out the high is we're not creating that squeeze liquidity that we need. And naturally, it'd be better to have a descending high. But I actually, with that speed fan, I can clearly see that these highs are like that. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out. But I wouldn't mind if we could go up there without taking the high and attacking that and forming some kind of pennant or something like that. Or some kind of flag. A flag would be like that. But I'm not really seeing a flag here because usually flags, yeah. Definitely look for reaction here if we come down this evening. And what you want to see is you want to see a reaction. You want to see the price to find support. You want to see volume, but you want to see the price not move down. Okay, so you can see the price is being absorbed. And then obviously if we are to go down, we need to see the price get right back up. Yeah, and continue. We don't want to see the price go up and then fall back down. That's not what we want to see. What we want to see is demand, real demand. And this is going to be a good area. So I'm going to mark this off. I don't think I'm going to add myself personally here. I might. I like to add on strength, and I've seen strength. I haven't needed to add it. I've just hedged. So potentially if I see a reaction here, I'll close my hedge or take profit on that for the price to go up. But I think what I want to see now is a low, higher low, and then I want to see us to go up. Okay, and I kind of want us to get up into the higher prices. I want us to get up to there. Okay, and that's what I'm looking for. I think this needs to happen first, something like this. And then obviously I don't want us to go lower. I think we could always go lower. So don't, just because I don't want it to happen, doesn't mean I'm not thinking to myself that it can't happen. Yeah, you could always go lower. You could always lose that. For whatever reason, you could always go lower. Worst case scenario, if we are to create this kind of sell-off, it wouldn't look crazy bullish. Just wait for the 5-minute market structure change. If you see that change to bearish, then then that's a signal. Okay, if we see a confirmation of the change, then that's the signal. Okay, I don't necessarily think there needs to be a 5-minute market structure confirmed change for us to come down and up. Yeah, to lose that key level, but to come right back up, especially if the drop is quite deep and then it's suddenly brought up. That will actually, it will be a lower low here, but actually it'll be quite bullish because you're right back up into this upper range, and then all the bulls need to do is just take it right up there. Yeah, so I don't necessarily think that's going to look terrible if that happens. It will liquidate some people if they have tight stops. Then what the other thing you can do is, now that we're above this, hold on, let me see where we are. So I have different fib pools in play right now. I've got this local one and then the higher time frame one. You can see that the price is kind of trapped between the higher time frame one and maybe this local one. So you could also, if you wanted to, you can just do a local range pull, see where the volume is. You can see that we are actually into a little bit of resistance. We're still into resistance, and you can see that some people have been taking profit. And effectively what you would want to do if we fall down here, we need to get back up there. That's what needs to happen. is get back up there, and then we need to either consolidate to go up or to now attack the top. I think that would be really good if that was to happen. All right, so I'm just kind of keeping that in mind. You want to see the reaction? Maybe I will buy actually, but I'm already in a position, so I'm not desperate to move my position up to be honest with you. So maybe I'll close my hedge. I don't know what I'll do. I haven't decided yet. Gary's asking the best exchange for UK spot and peeps. The UK really is terrible. You know, they changed the rules, the regulations last October, and it's a real challenge. I think if you're looking, the way I do it is I've got a Palau ID. So if you go into my video, I've got a link there. Let me get it for you. Just go to any one of my videos. I've got the link there. I don't get anything. I'm not getting paid for that. Just close that. Here, KYC digital residency for crypto exchanges. If you go to the Palau ID, you can get a digital ID, which allows you to KYC on exchanges without showing up as British, and so therefore you're not banned. Yeah. So right now, if you show your British license or passport, you can't use a lot of exchanges. But when you KYC with the Palau ID, you can. So what I did with Bybit, because before I had my British ID, I asked them to remove my KYC, which they did. I got my Palau ID. It took about 2 weeks to arrive. And then I did KYC on Bybit with Palau. And now what I do is I connect to the exchange with a VPN, because you can't connect to it from the UK without a VPN, and I can just use it like I used to use it by that. Okay, and I've done that on MEXC, I've done that on Gate. I haven't done it on Binance. I don't really use Binance, and it just made my life so much easier. The only caveat is that the American, I saw something today about the Palau ID for Americans. And so basically you'll get an ID like this. So if I log in, I'll show you. It'll look like that. It's like a little driver's license. The problem now is that with America, I saw this on Twitter, on X, whatever it's called. So if you're American, you got to be aware of potential legislative restrictions. It says our director just had a challenging conversation. Let me bring it onto my main screen so you guys can read that. Our director just had a challenging conversation with US regulators. Here's how you can help our program. Always stay on top of the law. Right, whatever. Extend your Palau ID for multi-years when the program is still alive in your country. This is only talking about America right now, so it may not be relevant for me in the UK, but obviously for Americans, that's very relevant. Palau ID is really, really useful, as long as they don't come down hard on it. All right, so sorry, back to Slerf. All right, this is what I'm thinking right now. Obviously, I don't want to This is the thing, losing levels is bearish. You don't want to lose levels, and you want to kind of flip levels into support. We're definitely coming into resistance now, and it's not that straightforward to get through resistance. You know, you have to do something. The price has to do something. Yeah, it has to create some kind of pattern to break that resistance. Let me just pull this all back up. I'm just going to clean my charts up a little bit, actually. Everything's looking, it's looking messy. Fixed ranges are not working. I don't know why. That's fine. Why is this not working? That's fine. This one. Right. That's that one. That's that one. Let me just put this into here. Right. Get rid of these two. Okay. And then higher time frame levels. Let me just get rid of that fib now. Or actually, what I'll do is I'll put it in here. Okay. This daily level hasn't been back tested, so sometimes you can get back tests of these levels, and so while I'm thinking to myself there, you know, this is crypto. If we are going there, why not there? You know, this just bear that in mind. Just because you have a nice idea, it doesn't always work out. It's never good to catch a falling knife. So it's always, when I'm in this situation, I'm always looking for strength. Yeah, especially when there's no clearly defined like swing failure or an easy entry. Swing failures are really easy entries. Here there's no easy entry, so what you're looking for is strength. And when I'm looking for strength, I'm looking for losing a level and reclaiming it. Yeah, so while I have this in my mind as a good area of interest, that just a back test of this pivot into this high volume node, sometimes it's a lot easier to see strength when you lose a level like this high volume node, or maybe even a daily level, lose a level and then reclaiming it, you know, just reclaiming the level. And I prefer to see, rather than try and catch some kind of down move, I prefer to see the down move complete, however it completes, and then wait for strength, which would be losing levels and reclaiming levels, losing levels and reclaiming levels. So the minute you see a level lost, but then the price reclaims it, that's your entry, because then you have a really easy invalidation. And when it comes to trading, it's always about the invalidation. So if you do, let's say hypothetically, come back down, lose a daily level that you haven't really tested, but actually the price just goes back up and gets back above it, then you have this little kind of market structure here, which is your invalidation. So you're not expecting the price to just suddenly go down, you're expecting it to flip into support for continuation. Just because I am thinking to myself, wouldn't it be nice to just pull back here and just go right up? The reality is that's never usually how it happens. Usually it's a lot more kind of scarier when you start moving down. But look what happened here. You see the price pulled back and it was just immediately brought up, and then the price went up. So just because this is effectively what I'm contemplating. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at my brush strokes, maybe people are thinking, oh, wouldn't it be nice if it did that? Maybe actually it's going to be more like these the way it happened here, something like this, you know, where, you know, that would make, potentially that could make more sense. You know, you pierce through it, but actually you're just holding a high volume node, and you're forming some kind of support, and effectively you're just going down to find support to go back up. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the price to find support. It's a lot harder because when the price goes down, people get bearish. And so it'll be a lot easier if we just have a flat correction here to go up. And that could happen too. No one really knows. Like maybe that we will have a flat correction. Maybe this wasn't flat. I don't know. I can't tell. All right, so let's just keep an eye on this. As long as we're bullish market structure on 5-minute time frame, I'm not going to do anything. Once it goes to bearish, then I'll be taking some kind of precautionary measures to protect my position further, and also possibly and then I'll be looking for the price to turn lower down, and that's when I'll be probably looking to take profit on my hedge or to add to my long. Okay, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to add to my long yet, because I don't want to kind of ruin my position, and I don't know if the price has moved enough, to be honest with you. I was thinking to myself, yeah, all right, I've done quite an in-depth analysis on this. I don't know if there's any questions. Yeah, I can't. Tell me if you have any questions. The candles are really bullish. So yesterday's candle was really an amazing candle, to be honest with you. It's a bullish engulfing. We've basically closed all the way up above the last 3 days, 4 days, and we already have this kind of bullish reaction on the day close. We're into that daily level, which is obviously we're seeing a reaction there, and that's obviously coinciding with other resistance levels. I think if we have a green day today like this, then we're probably going to see continuation tomorrow, probably. Yeah, that's what I'm almost expecting. We have to see how this day plays out, because obviously you've got the New York session, and the way this candle has opened, there's been no back test. Yeah, and so normally with these candles you do get some kind of back test. Yeah, but it would be great for this candle to close green, and it would be really good to see this candle close green above the previous day high. Yeah, so as long as it's green and it's above the previous day high, I think I'd be looking for continuation. Yeah, I think I would be looking for continuation, and I'd be looking for it to go up probably all the way up to my level, to be honest with you. There's some intermediary resistance levels here. Like you've got a daily level at 3422 and you've got a daily level at 3866. But again, it's kind of what I said before. On this lower range, hold on, where did I do it? I thought I had both of them. Oh, it's messed it up. Oh yeah, no, it hasn't. On this lower range, I don't know why it's done or not done all of it. You can clearly see that we're into this value area low as a resistance. See that? So while I've got a daily level higher up, which I've marked, and higher up, which I've marked, which should be resistance until flipped, I think this is a really important level now where we're at now. Yeah. So if we can get above the current daily level, above this value area low, above that fan that I've hidden now, above that fib, I mean, these are lots of resistance. Huh? Like just now me talking about it, it's quite a lot of resistance here. Above this 236, we really need, the bulls would really need to have to show up now. If we get back above there, that's a massive sign of strength. Yeah, I think that's where I would be adding that to that. If I see that, I would definitely add to my position. If I see a back test there, take out that high, little back test. We're back into this value area, which is the slow range value area. I don't see why the price wouldn't impulse up to to the point of control, right? So this is quite important to see what happens next. Yeah, I think it's possible. Right. It's kind of what I'm looking at for Slerf right now. Let's get back. Let's try and see what happens. But let's just, what we need to do is we need to get back above these levels. That'll be a sign of strength. I'll be looking probably to buy that, probably. Or if I see the price come into support lower down, we'll see. I'm not sure. But effectively, it'll be a back test of this area. That's kind of what I'm looking for. And then if we get back up there, actually that is really a sign of strength. If you find support, then I think that would be a much safer long. But obviously you're longing higher up, but you're longing into strength. That's the difference. It's the difference with that long. You're longing into strength. Sometimes longing into the pullback is difficult because, you know, for the price to lose levels, it's a little, there's it's weakness, and so naturally you're just not blindly longing. You're looking for reaction. You're looking for to see strength. What you're looking for is strength, right? So these are kind of like what I'm contemplating. I think probably actually if we do get back up there, I probably will add to my long, just because of the context of what it means. Yeah, right. So that's Slerf. If there's any questions on Slerf, it's been quite long, so apologies. What I don't want to see, and so while I'm contemplating the bullish narrative, yeah, I want people to be aware of the bearish narrative too, because this is what you don't want to see. On the first instance, you don't really want to see a market structure change. It begins with a 5-minute time frame. So the minute you see that, just be aware. And then obviously the second thing I don't want to see, yeah, is losing levels. I don't want to see levels lost. I want to see levels back tested and held as support. Obviously right now we're at the 236, so if we can hold that, then I'm going to be impressed. But this is my area of interest here, so I'm not looking for the price to now suddenly lose that level, lose this daily level, find resistance. I think there's going to be a problem there if that starts to happen. Okay, so if we're actually going down and we're finding resistance, then you just got to be aware of that. Okay, that's not healthy to see that. To see that kind of price action, to come back underneath this pivot, which you haven't been able to flip, it becomes problematic for the price, and it just means there just isn't enough liquidity. There's too much selling, there's not enough buying, and that could then lead to lower prices. And effectively what happens is the price is always looking for support to go up, or to go down it's always looking for resistance. So basically the balance of buying and selling has to flip. If something changes in the sentiment of the market or the price of the market, or something happens and you start losing them, don't just hope because you're bullish. Just see what the price is doing, react. Okay, react based on the price. And if you're going to see, like, if you're seeing the price fall, it's never a good idea to just catch the price as it's falling, yeah, unless you're the richest person in the world and you have enough capital to do that. It's always best to let the price settle down, find support. Yeah, so just give you an example. I mean, this V shape was a little bit of an exception, but here you see as the price was coming down, there was plenty of ample time to let the price settle down to find support before it moved up. Even this V shape recovery here, there was no need to catch that knife, that falling knife, because you could clearly see that the price, as it came back into this higher level, that the price wanted to go back up. Yeah. So while people are, the problem is you just don't know. You don't know how far this is going to go. You don't know where it's going to end. It's better to wait for the price to bottom out when you see that the price is falling. Yeah, because the thing about the way the price moves is it always over moves, and so whether it goes up, it always goes up further, and when it comes down, it always comes down further. So while I'm contemplating the price to find support, say here, I can't make that happen. I have to wait to see where the price actually does find support. Okay, because the price can sometimes move further, and if it does go lower than I expect, I'm not going to catch that. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for the price to come back above my level again, get back into the area that I wanted. I'll ignore the bottom part. I'm not going to be too worried that I couldn't catch it at 28.7 cents. If all I have to do is just wait for the price to find support and come right back up into my area of interest, which is at 30 cents. Yeah, just one cent higher. I'm okay with that, because then I'll be buying into a recovery. I'll be buying into strength. I'll be buying into a reclaim of a lost level. Yeah, it'll give me a really easy invalidation, and it means that I don't have to worry about buying and worry about the price continue going down. I don't have to be stressed about that. Okay, and that's quite stressful to buy, and then the price goes all the way, continues going down. So even in this kind of this price action from two nights ago, yeah, look at that. You can't buy that. It's difficult. Okay, when the price settles, you can buy. Okay, but there's always a danger the price can go down. For most people, the safest option in all of this price range was a reclaim of that daily level. Yeah, the daily level is there. You lose it. What do you want it? Where the safest entry is to reclaim it. So as the price comes down and does all this kind of razzmatazz, you ignore it, but then you see the price come right back up, take out that lower high, and you see the price is now trying to reclaim the level. Yeah, and so anywhere here was a good place to enter. Even with the first kind of buy up, it was a good place. Like all of this area was a good. Of course, you don't catch the absolute bottom, but then you're buying into strength, and the price, even after this area, which was fine. That was when I did my stream yesterday morning. It was here. And the price moved up to a max of 18%, and now it's still at 12%. Yeah, so it's just a lot safer to wait for strength when you're looking to buy. Okay, so I just want you to be aware of that sometimes you don't need to rush into these things.